Alright, welcome to video 2. So now we're going to look at our first little exercise, which is a little build drop exercise. So make sure you've downloaded the week 3 build drop exercise project files, and it should open all fine. Once again, if you have any dramas with samples not loading, just let me know. But using the knowledge that we gained from the previous video and now knowing what build ups and drops are, what we're going to do is take all these elements of a song and we're going to drag them over here to where we think they should fit. So as you can see on the right here, we've got everything from hats, we've got some drums, bass, and we've got some keys, vocals, and so on. So we've got some strings, white noise, and a little rise as well. We're going to drag this over here. We're not going to make these longer or anything. We're going to leave them exactly how they are, but we're going to start dragging them over. Oh, let me just undo that. But we're going to start dragging them over to where we think they should fit. And then we'll see how you did. So what I want you to do is, I'm just going to undo that. I want you to pause the video right here and drag these into where you think they would fit. And then hit play, and I'll drag them to where they should fit. And you can see how close you are in lining them up as to where they should be typically. And just to note, they should all fit within this little loop marker I've set up. So they should all fit within this little box here. Obviously you can see this one, how big it is. It can't really go anywhere else except here, so that's an easy one. So yeah, pause the video now and I'll see you in a sec. Alright, so you should have dragged all those into the positions that you think they should be. I'm going to go through now and drag mine in, and I'll go through the reasoning why, and we'll see how close you were in comparison to what I'm doing. I'm going to start with the easy one, which is the stab keys here. Obviously that can't really go anywhere else except right at the start, because that fills up the whole box. That's just going to play the whole time. Now, I'm going to take the drums, the main drums. Because the chorus or the drop is the most energetic part of the track, obviously it's going to have drums. So I'm going to put those here at the drop. So now we've got our stab keys, which goes into our drop with our drums. Now, same thing with the bass. I'm going to guess that the drop would have a bass line. I'm going to leave those little hats for now. I'm going to take these vocals. I'm going to start with something easier. So I'm going to take this little rise here. Just put it on its own. You can also solo that if you want to hear it's on its own without it being stacked on top of everything else. So a riser is usually going to be just before the drop. So I'm going to put that right here. Cool, so sounding pretty good so far. Okay, so let's see what this white noise is. So that sounds like it's rising as well. So I'm going to put that right at the start here. Cool, so next we got this string. So let's just check this out. So this sounds like something that's holding tension for me. Obviously this is this could be debatable, but for me it sounds like it's holding tension and it's building that tension. So I'm going to put it right at the start here at the build. It's also kind of introducing us to what the drop's going to bring. So next we got these vocals. Let's just listen to these. This sounds like an element that would be in a drop. So it's like a hook or a catch. It's a catchy part, so I'm just going to put that here. And then lastly, we've got our little hats. Because we've already got our drums here, the main ones, I'm guessing this is a little introduction as to what this is going to have. So I'm going to put this just before the drop as well. So let's listen to what we got. Cool, so that's sounding pretty good to me. Those are essentially where they typically should be. Obviously there's no hard and fast rules when it comes to music, but if I was laying that out, that's what sits right with me. So hopefully you got close to that. If not, don't be too hard on yourself. We are all learning as we go. So that was a little build drop exercise, and next we're going to look at another little build exercise before we get into arranging your track properly. Alright, so I've just opened up the next project here called Week 3 Rhythmic Builds. Make sure you have that open, and obviously that all the samples have come across. Just give it a play. You should be able to hear all those elements working together. As I said, if there's any problems, let me know ASAP, but it should all work fine. So you notice when you open this project that you've got two little beats on either side here, and this big empty space of nothingness in the middle. You also notice it's called build. So I'm guessing you can presume that what we're going to do here is actually make a build up from the elements that we've already got. You'll notice in this beat as well, there's no melodies, there's no chords or keys, there's nothing tonal, it's all drums and rhythm. So the whole purpose of this exercise is to show you guys that you can actually make a build up and build tension just from using drums and rhythm only. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take these elements we've already got and fill in this blank space here. Now you'll notice that these two tracks here, they look a bit different. They don't have MIDI notes. That's because they are audio tracks. So we can't actually go in and create a MIDI clip for them. So if you do want to use these elements in your build up, what you have to do is just drag select a section that you want, and then just copy and paste it to wherever you want to use it. So drag select, let's say this section here, Command C or Control C, and then Command V or Control V to paste it. You can even just duplicate it if you want. If you want to use the whole thing or whatever you want to do. Now when I create my own build up here, you don't have to actually copy me one for one. You can do your own version, and I actually encourage you to do your own version, but just follow along because I do go over some helpful tips as well. So I'm going to start with the kick up here. We'll just listen to what we got. So it's exactly the same on either side. Cool, so I'm just going to grab the kick. I'm going to create a MIDI clip in here. Again, insert MIDI clip or Command Shift M or Control Shift M. It's going to use the first 4 bars first. And I'm just going to start putting in a pattern. So again, what is the whole point of this section here is to build tension. So I want to create a pattern that's going to build tension in a way using all these elements. So I'm going to start with the kick. I've just switched it to half notes here. So when I switch it to half notes, there are 2 notes for every bar. I might do that for the duration of this. These 4 bars. What I'm going to do now is duplicate this one here that I've already got. And I might actually switch it to quarter notes. Oh, drag that end. Just copy this. And then for the last 2 bars, I might go quicker again. Go to 1/8 notes. And for this last half note here, I might actually go to 16ths. So super quick. And I'll leave a little gap here. It's just a little technique I like to use, just leaving a little breathing space before the drop, where you can add in a vocal or whatever. So let's see what we got. Cool. So already you can feel just up by having the kick there, it's already building tension the way it slowly gets faster and faster. That's the effect that we're looking for. So I'm going to grab this cowbell here, similar thing. Might actually just grab this pattern that I've already done, or maybe this one here. Now, if you look closely, you'll see this one here on this MIDI clip. There aren't these little lines or dots at the top and bottom of the clip. Whereas this one here has those little lines every bar. So what that's telling us is this is actually being looped. It's actually just this section here being looped over and over again. So if I change the notes in here, you'll notice it's carrying across to those other bars as well. I'll play this. It's just looping it over and over again. So if you don't want to loop it and you want to make this all unique, you have to select that clip and hit Command J or Control J, which is consolidating that clip. So you can come down here and right click as well. But yeah, Command J is a quick way to do that. Now you can see it's not looped anymore and we can see the whole clip. And it's all unique now. If I change it, you can see it's changing up here and it's not changing it for these ones as well. So just be aware, if you see those little dots, that means you're looping a section of it. And wherever those dots are, that's how long the loop is. So I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to hit Command A or Control A to select all. Just delete that. Remember, our root note is C3. So if we want the original cowbell sound, we have to use this. So I might just copy the kick for the first half. And just add a little something in here. And then I'll quicken it up. So you see there, I accidentally went into draw mode. So I haven't covered this yet because I wanted to give you an easy way to put notes in just as you begin. But there is a thing called draw mode. So that's because I hit B accidentally on my keyboard. Or you can also come up here and you see this little pencil icon where you can turn on draw mode. So what this does when it's activated, you don't have to double click to put in a note. You can also click and drag and just draw in notes wherever you want. But I do find that it gets quite messy when you use draw mode. So I think I've literally never used it since I've used the program. If you do like it, feel free to go ahead and use it. But for me, it just gets a little too messy. I like to be a bit more precise with where I'm putting notes. But yeah, feel free to play around with it. If you do like it, by all means, go ahead and use it. So I'm just going to make these quicker again. Maybe just switch up the groove a little bit at the end here. Just delete those. Cool, so that's my cowbell. Now with these bongos, I might just take a section of it. Actually, I might just continue this right up to the last half note there. And same with the shaker. I can even just grab this little section, just drag it out, and that'll loop, as we can tell by our lines. And finally, I'm going to add our little snare. So I'm going to create a clip. Actually, I'm going to mix it up for this snare. Instead of drawing those notes in, I'm going to record it in. So to record in arrangement view, similar to the session view, we have to make sure our track is armed. Another thing we have to make sure is that our MIDI keyboard is on. So now when I hit hit my keyboard, I can actually hear a sound. So to hit the root note, the original snare sound on my keyboard, it's just the A key. If you notice that it sounds like that, that's probably because you're an octave down. So to switch octaves on your keyboard, it's Z and X. So if I hit X and hit X again, and I'm hitting A now, and I hit X again, now I'm hitting A, you can see I'm going up octaves. So Z and X to go up and down octaves. Z goes down and X goes up. But we want to be at C3 for our original sound. So I'm going to set my marker just by clicking to the start here of this build up. And then once I hit record, it's going to give me a 1 bar countdown. And then I'll have to play in my melody or play in my little pattern. So let's see what I can come up with here. It's probably going to be all over the place, but we'll be able to go back in anyway and fix it up afterwards. So I'm going to turn my metronome on so I can hear the beat. So make sure armed, keyboard on, make sure that we're hitting C3 with our A key, and I'm going to make sure metronome's on and that we're recording from here. And I'm going to hit record. So I messed up a little bit at the end there, but that's fine. We can go in and fix it up. So let's see how we did. What I can do is just leave the grid, say at 16ths. I'm going to hit Command A or Control A, and I'm just going to do an automatic quantize to start off with. Just check these settings. Yep. Cool. So now let's see what we got. Turn off this as well. Excellent. So that quantize actually fixed all the errors that I had at the end there, and also I was probably off beat here and there, so that's just fixed that up and snapped it into place. All right, so that's pretty much my build. Let's see what we've got. Right, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's building tension all throughout the build up and letting us know that something's about to come. So there's about to be a drop or a chorus or something. But essentially what we're trying to achieve here with this is to build the tension and to make the drop as impactful as possible. So I've done that here by just getting faster and faster. That's typically how a build up would go. Obviously, if you did your own version, it's going to be quite different to mine. That's perfectly fine. We all have our own creative flair. So as you can see, we've actually managed to create a build up here without using any tonal elements. There's no risers or uplifters or vocals. It's purely drums and percussion. And we're building things up by just changing the rhythm. So I did leave a little space here. It's just something I like to do. Typically there might be a little vocal drop or something in there. But you didn't have to have that in there. That was just how I did mine. You can definitely feel free to continue your build up all the way to the end. So don't be too bothered if yours is completely different from mine. We're all unique and have our own ideas. So as long as you're just completing that objective of building tension, that's cool. I hope you found this little exercise useful. What we're actually going to do now is, in the next video, we're going to jump into arranging your track. Yeah, taking it out of the session view and bringing it into here so that you can actually listen to it in a song format. So I hope you're looking forward to it, and I'll see you in the next video.